Well, hello, welcome today to the Faucet of Hope show, and I'm really glad to have Jason Breitenfeld as my guest today. My name is Linda Larson Schlitz, and Jason was one of my interns many years ago when I was a counselor at the Job Center, and Jason was a student at North Central Technical College, and it's been quite a while, Jason, since we worked together, but I was so sorry to hear about your accident. And, we'll get into your history at another time, but today what we're going to talk about is your accident and how you have coped with that. So tell us about, what happened and how are you doing today?
Well, back in January of 2013, I was driving taxi, and I was working with the Safe Ride program, taking people home from taverns and making sure, they got home safe. Well, the tables got turned on me after dropping two people off at their cabin one night. A drunk driver came across the center line at approximately 80 miles an hour and hit me head on.
Wow, 80 miles an hour. Oh my gosh, that's awful. Now, you gave me some pictures here of the damages, and I want to show people what this looked like. Jason, how did you survive this? That's the amazing thing. How in the world did you survive this? Look at this.
Yeah. I've had the EMTs, the firefighters that were on scene tell me the same thing. They actually don't know how I survived it. Personally, I do. Because it was God's will. I had many guardian angels with me that night. But it's all God's will.
Wow. That's a great thing. That's a wonderful attitude. And how does that bring you to, what we're doing? I've been following you now on Facebook for the last year and your recovery and, what all you went through. There was some significant damage done. We're seeing bones here, Jason. What are these bones and what was that all about?
Right. Well, the picture you have up now, that's a CT scan of my hip. You can see where the ball of the hip is it's broke right off the femur. My pelvis was shattered. The doctors actually tried to surgically repair that hip. And unfortunately, it didn't take, and now I'm sitting here with the complete artificial hip that was put in.
Oh my goodness!
And you could see in that one picture, and that how dislocated that hip was too.
Yeah, it really was. And now you've got leg damage as well. Oh, that looks painful. It looks like a compound fracture, huh?
Yeah, there was multiple compound fractures in that leg, and that leg was actually pretty much cut clean off. The gas pedal went through there.
Oh my gosh!
And cut it off. In the emergency room, they told me it was hanging by less than 2 inches of skin. So,
oh my goodness! Oh my gosh! And your leg is functioning today?
As good as actually better than imagined. I'm losing feeling in it as time goes on. It's getting gradually worse, but it's doing its job.
Wow.
The surgeon that reattached it told me he was taking a shot in the dark on reattaching it. He really expected within like a month to be removing it, but
my word.
Again, by the grace of God, it's still working.
Oh, Jason, what an amazing thing. Now it looks like you've got both legs wrapped up here. Did you have damage to both legs?
Oh, yes. And the right leg was cut off, and my left leg, they actually thought I was going to lose that leg too. But it sounds kind of odd, but luckily in that leg only just got filleted up really good.
Oh.
It took approximately 300 staples to put it back together.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. So how long were you in the hospital, Jason?
1 month in Marshfield at St. Joe's.
Wow. Holy cow. Lots of rehabilitation, I'll bet, huh?
Yes. Yep. And we, of course, started that in the hospital. I spent 1 week in their rehab unit, and then we came home, and my wife took care of me at home.
Wow, that's wonderful that you had that opportunity to get home and, you know, with your dog.
Oh yeah, he's my buddy.
He's like a family member, it looks like.
Oh yes.
I have a grandson dog that looks like that. He's a wiener dog kind of mix.
He's wiener and pug.
Yeah, well, so is ours. His name is Pugweed. I'll have to show you him sometime. But wow, so you were in a wheelchair, Jason. How long was that?
6 months.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So you went from a wheelchair, oh my gosh, and yeah, that was a real struggle for you. Looks like you've lost quite a bit of weight since that.
Yeah, and of course being laid up because I came home. When I came home, I was still in a hospital bed.
Yeah.
And wheelchairs, and I mean, I put on some pounds, but I've taken them off, thankfully.
Yeah. So now you got all kinds of pins and all kinds of stuff in your legs, and you've got an artificial hip now. Now the hip, how long? See, now is this picture here, Jason? Is this before the hip replacement?
Yeah, this was right before the hip replacement. This is when we realized that there was a problem, and going through this whole process, I've learned a lot about the human anatomy, of course.
Yeah.
And what had happened here is the doctor's got a line drawn there where the ball should be and where it broke off. But what I didn't realize until he told me this is bones require blood flow.
Oh yeah.
And when the ball broke off the femur, and when they reattached it, they can't tell that it lost its blood flow for too long. So what had happened is basically and it didn't take long, the ball broke or started decaying from the inside out and then just collapsed.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
That's what that picture shows.
Wow. And then did you have multiple surgeries then on your legs as well? Or was that just they were?
Oh yeah. I've had 3 surgeries on my hip alone, and then 6 total to repair my legs.
Oh my goodness. You had all of these different things, all of these different surgeries. Wow, that's just crazy, all the stuff you've gone through. And this guy that hit you, he was 3 times the legal limits in Wisconsin, so that would be like over a 0.3, was he? Or a 0.2 something?
0.28.
0.28. In Wisconsin, it's 0.08 is the legal limit. So, and this was his 4th driving under the OWI, operating, what does that mean again? Operating while intoxicated. Yeah, and that is relative in Wisconsin, whether it's alcohol or drugs, if you're under the influence of something. And this person had 3 other people in the car, did you say?
Yes.
3 other people, and all that happened is he got 1 broken bone. That was it.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just a really, it doesn't seem fair. Had no insurance, didn't have legal plates, was the 2nd time causing injuries when driving drunk. The 8 felonies from that one event.
Right.
The gentleman got, and he's was looking at 48 years in prison.
Right. That's originally what he was charged with. But of course, the DAs, they like to plead everybody out.
Yeah. He was originally charged with 3 traffic violations, was dropped down to 2 felonies and no traffic violations. How can that be?
I still wonder about that myself.
He obviously was speeding and crossing the center line or whatever. Right. Oh my gosh.
Yep, no insurance, and that the vehicle wasn't registered, and that. So in reality, he got off pretty easy. Very,
very easy. 3 years in prison, 3 years extended supervision. 1-year DL revocation. What does that mean again?
Driver's
license
Yeah.
revocation.
So technically, he'll be eligible to get his driver's license back before he even gets out of prison.
Oh my goodness. If he completes his program out in 18 months. Well, you know, life isn't fair. And I remember being told that at the job center by one of my coworkers. Life isn't fair. And I also was told that by the probation officer supervisor. He said, Linda, you're under the illusion that there's justice in the justice system.
Right.
You know, and that is a very sad thing. So your message to people, Jason, is what? You've got some things for people to remember here.
Yeah, and that, you know, of course, in that, you know, I have a very strong anti-drinking and driving message, you know, that, you know, and the reason why I share this is because even if I save one family from having to go through this tragedy, you know, it's worth, everything is worth it, you know. Yeah, of course, I don't wish I was in an accident, you know, but, you know, it's God's will, and if I can prevent one family from having to experience this, then I'll share my story all day long, you know. The other message I have is, you know, the doctors, the physical therapists, they all told me I'd probably never walk again. Well, you know, so I tell people, you know, don't get discouraged by hearing that stuff. You know, it's your will, you know, and God's will. I mean, if you work hard enough and you know, try to, you know, keep your head up, and that anything's possible.
Exactly. Well,
I mean,
in your faith, Jason, that is what is so awesome. Not, you know, a lot of people would get bitter, they would get angry, they would get resentful, but that's another valuable thing. Somebody once told me that expectations are premeditated resentments, and sitting with resentments and anger only hurts you. It doesn't hurt anybody else. And you've taken such a positive attitude. And that's why I always appreciated working with you. You had a lot of obstacles that you've been through in your life, which I really want to talk about at another time. But you've always had a positive attitude. You've always had a get her done attitude, which is the way I do things. And
Yep.
I'm really looking forward to working with you to see what other ways can we help Jason leave the legacy. You're doing it right now, but I want to see that book come out. I want to see those CDs and that encouragement that you have for people, and how to get past that anger to that point of how can you see this as God's will? A lot of people have a hard time with that. But I agree with you that, you know, it's not my belief is I don't think God makes bad things happen, but he allows us, those of us who he knows are willing to turn it around and to make good of it. He allows us to go through those things because he sees the potential of the good that could come out of this. And that would be exactly what you said, to get somebody else to wake up and say, number one, don't drive when you're drinking. Number two, call a friend, ask the bartender, call a cab, get a safe ride, walk, or just flat out don't drink and drive at all.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
then to be positive, and if you're getting a bad diagnosis, my neighbor, her doctor said, when there's hope, I'll give it to you, to the family. Now that would really cause a lot of people to lose hope. But don't settle for the prognosis. You know, trust for something else. That's what I'm hearing you say. So this is just a wonder thing. And please remember, this was real touching too, Jason, kind of some of your last words here. You never know when that last day is going to be there, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the accident, you know, is proof of that. But, you know, that's been a motto of mine pretty much my entire life. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't know when the end's going to come, so you might as well just, you make the best of what you got.
And make sure your loved ones know that you're there and that, you know, you love them. So
Yep.
you never know if you are going to be coming back, because today is all we have. And so you've got to make the best of it. And Jason, I so much appreciate, the fact that you have made the best of this, and that you're willing to continue to do this. Now, Jason is willing to come to schools. He's willing to, talk to people. Right now, you are sharing your story up in Rhinelander, right? Or Tomahawk, is it?
Well, the Tri-County area, Oneida, Vilas, and there's one other county I can't remember. Yeah, we tour. Well, I shouldn't say we tour, but we go and we speak to first and second time offenders as part of their sentence. That they come, and I have a group that we work with, and we share our stories, and like I said, maybe prevent them from doing it again. A lot of them haven't been in an accident or anything, and we show them what can happen. And
well, in this video, this is going to be on the Faucet of Hope show on YouTube. It's going to be on my website. It's on the Linda Larson Schlitz website. It's going to be on Facebook. It's going to be on Twitter. I'm going to send it around to the probation and parole officers across the state. I'm going to send it to the police officers and any place else that does training and education, schools. So even though, physically and even financially driving all over the place, without any reimbursement is obviously something, it's just not in your back pocket, because now, you're disabled, obviously, at this time. But my goal and our partnership, and why I call this the Faucet of Hope Business Collaborative, is I want to help new people who are struggling like Jason to be able to make a living doing whatever their passion is. And for Jason right now, that passion is helping to prevent others from going through what he's been through, and to bring encouragement to those who have gone through what he's gone through. So I want to see us be able to make Jason some money. So I do hope that you will support our efforts. Let us know. Sign up for our mailing list, because Jason will be one of our featured speakers and people that is going to be doing training through our collaborative. So I'm excited. We're going to get rolling. And Jason, thank you so much for being my guest today, and thank you for your wonderful testimony and positive motivation you've given us all today. Thanks a lot.
Oh, thank you for this opportunity. It's great.
Okay, looking forward to working with you some more, Jason. Thank you. This is Linda Larson Schlitz with the Faucet of Hope show. Tune in again.